Children's spontaneous verbal outbursts can often cause embarrassment in the family. After all, children do not yet possess logical thinking and very often say things that should not be said out loud. Adults learn the art of implication, not actually saying out loud what can be unpleasant to hear. Children simply do not understand the term white lie and why adults sometimes fib to each other. After all, they are taught from childhood to be honest. If a child overhears an adult conversation, for example, they don't have any trouble repeating it. However, what they think they heard could be taken out of context or was said with a different meaning, but the child may not understand this. Then what happens? Today, I want to tell a story that happened just because a child decided to convey to her father the whole truth about her mother and to warn him against death. Svetlana had been working as a pastry chef for several years. Even after going on maternity leave, she still fulfilled orders, working from home. Work was always in full swing in her kitchen. There were always beautifully designed cakes on her table, the mixer worked almost around the clock, and the oven was never off. There was always a delicious aroma of fresh pastries in her house, and there were always a lot of customers. Svetlana was an excellent cook, and she could hide any ingredients in the cake, masking them with other tastes so that it was almost impossible to find out what exactly was in the cake. Since not many children like to eat vegetables, Svetlana skillfully covered the taste of vegetables with sweet berry flavors and other additives. Her customers loved her for this, and they came to her again and again with new orders for vegetable cakes. It is no wonder that her little daughter has been interested in the culinary business since childhood. After all, literally from birth, she watched her mother work and, when possible, helped her with everything. Her mom trusted her with very important tasks, like stirring sugar in the dough or adding a certain amount of cocoa. Giving such responsibility to a 6-year-old child made her feel very mature and useful. Despite the fact that she was always busy and there was always a lot of food everywhere, Svetlana made sure that dangerous objects such as knives were not within easy reach of her child. Svetlana baked not only for customers, but also for her own family. Her husband Sergey was having a birthday, and she decided to bake a birthday cake for him. That day, she unthinkingly left an open bottle of vinegar on the edge of the table, then turned away. Her little daughter was about to drink what she thought was water from the bottle when Svetlana saw it. She quickly snatched the vinegar from the child's hands, screaming, "No, it's poison!" Then she poured the liquid into the dough. Her daughter watched this in horror and then quietly left the kitchen. When the cake was baked and Svetlana started decorating it, her husband came into the kitchen. He looked at his wife and then asked, "What a beautiful cake. Who is it for?" "It's a surprise," the woman replied, smiling mysteriously. He replied, "Honey, tell me honestly, do you still love me?" What a strange question, Svetlana thought. Of course, my darling, I love you more than life. Are you mad at me about anything? Why should I be mad at you, honey? Why do you ask these questions? Her husband got very pale and was clearly worried about something. What's the matter? Svetlana asked. Then their daughter spoke up. Mom, I told Dad that you added poison to his cake. She cried and hugged her dad, saying, Daddy, I love you very much. Please do not eat this cake. It's poisoned. I don't know why Mom wants to kill you, but I won't allow it. The parents looked at each other in bewilderment until Svetlana realized what kind of poison their daughter was talking about. She laughed and then told the story about the vinegar to her husband, and then for a long time tried explaining to her daughter why vinegar, when it is poured in a bottle, is poison, and when it is in the cake, it is no longer poison. The child did not calm down all evening, and when the infamous cake was put on the festive table, her dad had a story to tell the guests. Everyone laughed at this story for a long time, and for a long time, the young girl was afraid of cakes. This is how children's logic works. Therefore, it is very important to think about what you say in the presence of your children and to carefully monitor their reactions. Now let us know your reaction to this story in the comments. Share with us any funny situations that have happened in your family thanks to children's imagination.